City, Muskegon City Commission meeting for September 27th to order. I'd like to welcome Elder George Monroe to lead us in prayer. Elder?
Shall we pray? Our dear Heavenly Father, again, we thank you for the privilege, Lord, that we gather here, Lord, and we thank you for our mayor and our manager and our commissioners, Lord, that you would bless them, undertake for them, and protect them at all times. Now, Lord, just be with them as these items come up, Lord, that they would make the right decision. And we'll give you all the praise in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Elder. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Elder. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Carter,
Here.
Vice Mayor Gallron, absent. Commissioner Shepard,
Here.
Commissioner Spataro,
Here.
Mayor Warmington.
Here.
Commissioner Waringo, absent. Commissioner Wisniewski.
Here. May we have the consent agenda read, please?
Approval of minutes, City Clerk, summary request. To approve minutes of the September 12th Commission Work Session meeting and the September 13th City Commission meeting. Staff recommendation, approval of the minutes. City MDOT agreement for the resurfacing of Terrace Street from Apple to Western Engineering. Summary request. Approve the contract with MDOT for the resurfacing of Terrace Street from Apple and 46 to Western Avenue, and approve the resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to sign the contract. Staff recommendation, approve the contract and resolution authorizing the mayor and clerk to sign both.
Thank you. Commissioners, you've heard the consent agenda read. Are there any items you'd like to have removed for further discussion? Commissioner Spataro?
Thank you. Well, item B.
Item B?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Commissioner Carter?
Motion to approve of minutes from the last meeting.
Have a support?
Second.
Been moved by Commissioner Carter, supported by Commissioner Spataro, to approve item A of the consent agenda. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Shepard,
Yes.
Commissioner Spataro,
Yes.
Mayor Warmington,
Yes.
Commissioner Wisniewski,
Yes.
Commissioner Carter.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Item B, Commissioner Spataro.
Thank you. I would move that we approve the city MDOT agreement for the resurfacing of Terrace Street from Apple to Western.
Support.
Been moved by Commissioner Spataro, supported by Commissioner Shepard, to approve the city MDOT agreement for the resurfacing of Terrace Street from Apple to Western. Michigan Department of Transportation.
Thank you. If I may, I did have I see we've got a little map here, but I wanted to ask about the on-street parking, because we've talked about this for a number of years, and since the street's being resurfaced, I was wondering if we could kind of get an explanation as to what's going to change and where some additional on-street parking is going to go. Thank you.
Mr. El Chattel?
Good evening. I left before you copies of the proposed pavement marking for after the resurfacing, if you will. And what I highlighted in there was the pink area is where we're proposing the on-street parking lot, or on-street parking would be, which is basically taking the third lane or the curb lane, outside curb lanes out, and putting on-street parking. Basically carry the same cross-section that we have between Clay and Western.
Is there going to be any adjustment to the left turn configuration at Muskegon and Webster, given that we've got the little concrete berms there and they're two-way now?
No, we're not changing much of anything because the funds that we have is only $160,000, which is what's left from the old mall development,
Okay.
priority projects.
All right. Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Shepard,
Yes.
Commissioner Spataro,
Yes.
Mayor Warmington,
Yes.
Commissioner Waringo. Yes. Commissioner Wisniewski,
Yes.
Commissioner Carter.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Public hearings, item A, please.
Request to establish an obsolete property district for 41 East Apple Avenue, Planning and Economic Development. Summary request pursuant to Public Act 146 of the Michigan Public Acts of 2000, J&J Bail Bonds, 41 East Apple Avenue, has requested the establishment of an obsolete property district. Total capital investment for this project is estimated at $91,495. Staff recommendation, staff recommends approval.
Oh, that's right, it's a public hearing.
The assessor valued the building at $62,500. They're pledging to invest over $90,000. We have to establish a district first, and then we can establish or grant the certificate. And the applicant is here.
Staff? Is there anyone in the audience who would care to address this item? Sir? I need for you to step up to the mic and give your name and address, please.
My name is Ernest Benz. I work with J&J Bail Bonds, 2541 Eastern Avenue, Grand Rapids, Michigan, 49507. We're looking to branch out and create other opportunities in other cities around the state. Muskegon being one of those. We're currently looking at acquiring the building at 41 East Apple, which is obviously close to the jail and courthouse. Good location. We've already invested some money into it, repairing the roof to protect the inside. It had a considerable leak in it. That cost over $3,000 already. We had estimates of improvements for the front third of the building at over $90,000. And there's still two other sections of the building that we're looking at improving at a later date.
Any questions for Commissioner Darrow?
Thank you. Yeah, first of all, I'm very pleased to see you come into the community, and certainly this is a high-profile building, and it's going to be very good to see this investment and see it in active use again. But as you mentioned, it's a fairly large structure, and given the proposed job creation, I was wondering, are you subdividing the building for other potential tenants, or are you reserving that for future growth?
That is one of the options that we've looked at, is possibly renting out other areas of the building in the front third that we're doing, because we're not going to utilize that much space. I mean, it's a very large building. So in our first third that we're looking at investing now, we're looking at making that space available to other tenants possibly.
Okay, thank you.
I just have one.
Commissioner Shepard?
Yes, I would like to welcome you to the community. I noticed that there has been some work did on that building. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and I'm thankful for that. Do you plan to do any more outside appearance to that?
We plan to put a new facade on the front, replace all the windows,
Okay,
and update the doors.
okay,
As far as the side that faces Apple Avenue. We've already replaced the locks, so the locks will all function.
okay. That's what I was wondering. Thank you very much.
Anyone else, Commissioners? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Dave Wentland, 1399 Nelson Street, Muskegon, also representing Crystal Anderson Realtors. We've worked on that building, had it listed for better than 2 years, and let me tell you that it was a real stretch to get this to happen. And one of the things that we're pleased with is that the strength of this company, which we've seen some of their financials, and the attitude that these people come to this community with of bringing jobs and providing a good-looking building. The building itself, if you've ever been in it, is old timber construction roof, and it's very sound, but it certainly is obsolete. And we want to support this application and certainly commend the Commission for continuing this type of incentive to bring these kinds of businesses to the community.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Wendland? Thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience that would care to address this item? Mr. Carter?
I move that we close the public hearing and approve the request to issue an obsolete property,
Second.
Create the district.
create the district.
Create the district, that's right. Second.
Been moved by Commissioner Carter, supported by Commissioner Shepard to close the public hearing and approve the request to establish an obsolete property district for 41 East Apple Avenue. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Spataro?
Yes.
Mayor Warmington?
Yes.
Commissioner Wieringo?
Yes.
Commissioner Wisneski?
Yes.
Commissioner Carter?
Yes.
Commissioner Shepard?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Love that. Loud and clear, I heard that. Item D, please.
Request to issue an obsolete property certificate for J&J Bail Bonds, 41 East Apple, Planning and Economic Development. Summary request pursuant to Public Act 146 of the Michigan Public Acts of 2000, J&J Bail Bonds, 41 East Apple Avenue, has requested the issuance of an obsolete property certificate for the property located at 41 East Apple Avenue. Total capital investment for this project is estimated at $91,495, and they plan to create 5 to 7 new jobs. Because of the amount of investment, the applicant is eligible for an 8-year certificate. Staff recommendation, staff recommends approval.
Thank you. Any questions, staff? Is there anyone, oh, pardon me, Commissioner Carter?
Yes, I know this is not normal, and anytime we do any type of exemptions or anything, I always want to know, I know it's not part of the package, I wish we could include it in part of the package, did they meet with Duana about,
No, the IFTs are the only ones that we.
okay. My concern, anytime we, waive any money for the citizens, I have to have consideration for the minorities in this, and I want to make sure that J&J understands that that we like for all the citizens of the city of Muskegon, no matter what minority they are, to have an opportunity to be employed anywhere in the city. So, I'm always going to ask this, even though I know it's obsolete. It'd be nice if we can get this in there. But I just want to know if we could explain that to J&J about
Yes.
how we like if we're going to waive any money or freeze money. The whole citizens of the city of Muskegon should be represented when it comes to new employment in this facility.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner Carter. Are there any other questions, staff? Anyone in the audience that care to address this item? Yep. If you haven't changed your name, you can just go forward.
Kind of address Commissioner Carter's concerns. J&J is an equal opportunity employer. We aren't looking to bring anybody from our main office to Muskegon. So we are looking for people from Muskegon to begin working in this main office. We're going to have to staff the office so it can stay open during business hours if our agents have to go out to work. So that's kind of where the 5 to 7 jobs come from is our corporate office in Grand Rapids right now is staffed by 7 people. And that's excluding the agents that have to leave. There's 6 agents just in Kent County alone. I'm currently the only agent that runs the entire west side of the state. So we're looking to, 5 to 7 is kind of the minimum that we're looking at here. But like I said, we're looking to put in employment for the people of Muskegon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would care to speak? Commissioner Carter?
Seeing no one, I move that we close the public hearing and approve the request to issue obsolete property certificate to J&J Bail Bonds.
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Carter, supported by Commissioner Waringo to close the public hearing and approve the request to issue an obsolete property certificate for J&J Bail Bonds, 41 East Apple Avenue. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mayor Warmington?
Yes.
Commissioner Wieringo?
Yes.
Commissioner Wisneski?
Yes.
Commissioner Carter?
Yes.
Commissioner Shepard?
Yes.
Commissioner Spataro?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Item C has been removed per request of staff. Unfinished business, item A, please.
Table from July 26, concurrence with the Housing Board of Appeals notice in order to demolish 407 Marquette Avenue, City Manager. Summary request. This is to request that the City Commission concur with the findings of the Housing Board of Appeals that the structure located at 407 Marquette Avenue is unsafe, substandard, a public nuisance, and that it be demolished within 30 days. It is further requested that administration be directed to obtain bids for the demolition of the structure, and that the mayor and city clerk be authorized and directed to execute a contract for demolition with the lowest responsible bidder. Staff recommendation to concur with the Housing Board of Appeals' decision to demolish.
Thank you. Oh, that's right. Well, this, Commissioners, as you recall, we tabled this from July, and I see that the applicant is here. Would you like to step up, and if you can give your name and address again, please?
Do we need a motion?
At some point.
So we could begin discussion. I would move that we concur with the Housing Board of Appeals. Notice an order to demolish 407 Marquette Avenue.
Support.
It's been moved by Commissioner Spataro, supported by Commissioner Carter, to concur with the Housing Board of Appeals notice and order to demolish 407 Marquette Avenue. Sir?
My name is Perry Denny, Riverside at 539 Bennett. I'm the owner and also of the building, and also the president and CEO of a nonprofit that owns the building. I also have an agenda I wanted to pass out like I've done before.
Could you please pull that mic up to you a little bit so it'll be a little easier to hear you? Thank you.
Oh, you can give me a home.
Everybody here. A couple of months ago, I was given a understanding to procure financing, and I wanted to also iterate as well that a nonprofit functions a little different. As an individual, I just, I go out and I seek financing, give my bank record and so forth. A nonprofit doesn't function in that capacity. The purpose of the nonprofit and the rehab of the building is to acquire funding through grants or donations. And that was the whole intent of why I purchased the building. At this stage, what I've done is I've got quotes, because we need exact figures in order to procure funding. To rehab the building's roof is probably the main concern. It's $16,800. Well, on the other option, I talked to several contractors that have seen this building. As we all know, there's a little history to this building. Just to repair the building roof, just to rehab it, would be $2,000. A large saving in that behalf. And the main problem is the drain in the middle of the building, which would be $550 to just repair the drain. I do have some other concerns on the building as well, but that is probably the big focus at this stage, is the roof, is what I was brought to my attention. Now I'm at the point where I can start procuring and inquiring to funding, because I have exact figures to work with. As I continue down on my agenda, there's lots of incentives from the city to do other parts of the building, also with the roof as well, and also other organizations within the community. Again, we're at this point where I can start submitting additional letters via the internet, through the U.S. mail system, whatever it may be, to procure funding. My whole sole purpose today is to ask for additional time to get these letters out, like I said, via the internet, through the U.S. mail system, even word of mouth, whatever it takes. Yes, sir.
Commissioner Carter?
Mr. Denny, I again applaud what you're trying to do for this building. The main problem was not the roof on this building, it's that wall. It's about to fall, the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
That's the issue that we were mostly concerned about. I understand the history of this building, and I understand it very well. I remember from when I was a child myself. But my total concern was the wall. Roof, I could have got by with that. That's but my total concern is the structural integrity of that wall that's about to fall. So I guess my question to you, and it's basically a yes or no answer, are you prepared to start repairing that wall within the next 30 days?
My whole focus and my goal is to actually remove that side of the building, that one little small part. I'm not pleased with the wall at all, but I have to look at the whole building. I would like to just take that whole part off. There are some incentives, as I just also spoke about, as far as removing that part of that building. There was an addition put on at one time back, whatever, in the past. It's not the main building. The main building's really pretty solid. But again, just like I'm saying, I mean, I've never been pleased with that wall. And so I've never looked at really having a wall that was $10,000 just to rehab the wall. Well, you know, what's the sense of rehabbing a wall when I got a roof that's leaking in the main building, which is what I'm using?
My main concern is that wall,
Okay.
because that is a safety hazard big time.
Yes.
That is more of a safety hazard than the roof. Again, I ask you again, are you prepared to do something about that wall within the next 30 days?
I would like to have that whole part removed. That is what I want to do.
Okay, are you prepared to do that within the next 30 days?
I can inquire, yes.
I mean, are you prepared to do it? Not inquire, not find financing. I want to know, is it going to be done? Whatever solution you come up with our inspections department, are you ready to take care of that wall within the next, will it be fixed within the next 30 days, one way or the other?
I need more time than 30 days to have that wall repaired. I don't have the funding at this time through my nonprofit to repair the wall or remove the building.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions of the applicant?
I have a question of staff, though. I understand what the gentleman's trying to do, and like Commissioner Carter, I applaud the motivations here, but I also have some really severe concerns regarding the safety of this building. And given that we tabled this for 30 days, I was wondering, was there any contact from this gentleman to staff regarding what needs to be done with the building, establishing some timelines for repair, or any of those kind of things we normally ask of somebody?
No, and in fact, I would remind you that it was actually, I believe, tabled for 60 days.
Okay.
And during that time, we did not, the owner did not make contact with us, with our inspection department, to attempt to secure any permits or lay out any sort of timeline for the repairs for the structure. I've been advised by the inspection staff as late as yesterday that the wall, if you will, is deteriorating more so, and so the building is becoming more dangerous.
Well, as a lot of people know, I work on Wood Street, and I go by that building several times a week, and the wall is noticeably deteriorating over the course of the last few months, so it's not stable at all. It's getting significantly worse.
That's
Thank you.
exactly what our folks are saying.
Any other questions or comments?
Yeah, I just wanted to know that what I wanted was additional time to procure the funding to resolve that part of the building. But like I said, there's two parts to the building. There's a main part, and there's a small part, which is the wall that we're discussing is attached to. My whole goal was to move that part of the building. You know, you look inside the wall, you go in the building, it's really not very good at all. It's been sitting for several years. So that was what my whole goal is. It's just a little bit more than a wall. I just want to remove that whole little part. There are some programs, there are some incentives that, you know, here the city may offer to me. But keep in mind, like I said, this is a nonprofit. We just can't go out and just, you know, have somebody just pop money in our laps for what our mission is and what their mission is.
All right, Mr. Denny, I think we understand. Want to make any other comments?
No.
Any other comments from commissioners? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Wieringo?
Yes.
Commissioner Wisniewski?
Yes.
Commissioner Carter?
Regrettably, yes.
Commissioner Shepard?
No.
Commissioner Spataro?
Yes.
Mayor Warmington?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
You still have 21 days.
Pardon?
You have 21 days. And, could I indicate that?
Sure.
Okay, Mr. Perry, even though the commission has made their decision, but you still have 21 days to make any and all things happen, and besides that, that is as much as we can do. I kind of hated to see this happen, but knowing that we could have used that building for the neighborhood association and other events over there, but I understand the financial parts are, is a whole nother difference, and, but the building is not stable. The wall, I went over there and I looked at it myself, it's very dangerous, and, we have to really follow that. But I kind of like said no, because I want to make sure that you know that you have 21 days to finish it off.
File
Okay.
appeal.
Thank you.
Or,
21 days.
He
to
has 30 days to file lawsuit.
right, all right, I'm sorry. Mhm.
Any work he does before that, he does it at his peril, that the building may come down regardless of
Right.
any improvements he makes.
That is right.
But I didn't understand what you stated, because I guess you would turn a little different way. You said at 21 days to file a lawsuit.
To file a lawsuit, a writ of superintending control, asking the court to hold the demolition in abeyance.
Okay, thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you. Okay, new business, item A, please.
Resolution for continuation of city personal income tax incentive within city renaissance zones, planning and economic development. Summary request, PA 38 of 2011, May 2011, repealed Section 206.31 of the Income Tax Act of 1967, which allowed individuals who were residents of a renaissance zone to exempt their income from the 4.35% tax. Those living within a renaissance zone must begin paying state personal income tax on January 1st, 2012. The resolution authorizes the city to continue providing a city personal income tax benefit within renaissance zones for the life of each zone. Staff recommendation to approve the resolution and authorize the mayor and clerk to sign.
Thank you. Commissioner Spataro.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would move that we adopt the resolution continuing the city income tax incentives within the Renaissance zones.
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Spataro, supported by Commissioner Shepard, to approve the resolution for continuation of city personal income tax incentive within the city Renaissance zones. Do you want to say anything, Ken?
I think it's important, as you know, we all talked about this not long ago, and it's unfortunate that the state income tax was withdrawn. We thought it was going to be here for a certain term, and that's not going to be the case. So anyone living within the Renaissance zones as of January 1st, 2012 will have to start paying the state income tax. But I think it would be wonderful, of a gesture and a small amount of incentive to be able to continue our city income tax, and I think our folks living in the zones would appreciate that. Thank you.
Commissioner Spataro?
Yeah, I just want to say, I'm not real impressed with how the Renaissance program has worked statewide.
I am not.
I think it's an example of using, quite frankly, tax gimmicks when good governance and quality services are more of an incentive than this type of thing. But this body, and a couple of us were here at the time, voted to create these zones, and I think it's unconscionable to basically renege on your word, to go back on an agreement when you've created something like this. And I really think it sets a bad precedent for the state to do something like that. And I hope this body stands up with some integrity and says, we're going to keep our word and maintain this benefit as we promised when we created these zones. Thank you, Your Honor.
Anyone else?
I have one
Commissioner
question.
Shepard?
What are these zones over?
The, most of the existing zones will be completed, entirely phased out in 2014. But there are a couple that have been extended as far as 2023.
Wow. Okay.
Any other comments?
That's true.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Wesneski?
Yes.
Commissioner Carter?
Yes.
Commissioner Shepard?
Yes.
Commissioner Spataro?
Yes.
Mayor Warmington?
Yes.
Commissioner Waringo?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Item D, please.
Concurrence with the Housing Board of Appeals notice and order to demolish the following: City Manager, 163 Amity Avenue, 122 East Southern Avenue, 1877 Smith Street Garage. Summary request. This is to request that the City Commission concur with the findings of the Housing Board of Appeals that the structures are unsafe, substandard, a public nuisance, and that they be demolished within 30 days. It is further requested that administration be directed to obtain bids for the demolition of the structures and that the mayor and city clerk be authorized and directed to execute a contract for demolition with the lowest responsible bidder. Staff recommendation to concur with the Housing Board of Appeals decision to demolish.
Thank you. Is there anyone here to discuss any of these properties? Commissioner Spataro.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would move that we concur with the Housing Board of Appeals notice and order to demolish 163 Amity Avenue, 122 East Southern Avenue, and 1877 Smith Street Garage only.
Support.
It's been moved by Commissioner Spataro, supported by Commissioner Carter, to concur with the Housing Board of Appeals notice and order to demolish 163 Amity Avenue, 122 East Southern Avenue, and 1877 Smith Street Garage only. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Carter?
Yes.
Commissioner Shepard?
Yes.
Commissioner Spataro?
Yes.
Mayor Warmington?
Yes.
Commissioner Waringo?
Yes.
Commissioner Wesneski?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Commissioners, I just wanted you to notice how smoothly that Housing Board of Appeals concurrence went with the city manager at the helm of that. Thank you. Is there any other business?
I'd like to make a note and have that put on the calendar, so we have a record of it.
Yeah. Any other business, commissioners? Is there anyone in the audience that would care to address the commission?
Your Honor. One item, I don't know what we can do or how we can do it, but I'd like to see if there's an opportunity to recognize or do something nice for the folks at Acme Cleaners. It seems like in the last 18 months, we've tore up the road in front of their business 3 times. They've been very tolerant and patient and haven't objected or raised a fuss, but their business has certainly been interrupted because of the construction we've done, first on Beidler, then on Laketon, and now on Laketon again. And they're feeling the pressure from it. And I don't know if there's a thank you letter or something we could do, but I would like to offer something nice to them.
Well, I would suggest to you that there's more than one business that has been, had the same.
Inconvenienced at that intersection, but recognize all the businesses at that intersection for their patience and tolerance.
Well, perhaps like a letter from the city?
That might be, very well be appropriate.
I think,
I would endorse that. I would agree with
all
that.
right, we'll take care of that.
Thank you.
I know
Would you-
several
would you
of
like
those
to sign
businesses
it?
of sober.
If you'd like me
With
to.
Commissioner Wisniewski's signature. Any other items? Commissioner Carter?
Seeing none, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.